Welcome to Connect Church Online. We're glad to have you with us. My name is Dwayne Hawksworth, and I'm the lead pastor here at Connect Church. You picked a great day to be with us because we're in week 2 of a brand new series we've called No Offense. From the latest headline to social media comments to the person who just cut you off in traffic, there are plenty of opportunities to be offended each day. But what if we decided to respond differently to those around us? How would that change our life and the lives of everyone around us? For the next few weeks, let's learn together how to live with no offense. Before we get started today, let me tell you how you can connect with us and keep up with the events here at Connect Church in Waco. I'd also like to know how you can give and support what we're doing if you'd like. Get your cell phone and text the words Connect Church to 94,000. That's the words Connect Church to 94,000. This will provide you with a link to both connect with us and to give if you'd like, or you can go to our website, connectwaco.com/give. If you'd like to connect with us by mail, our mailing address is Connect Church, P.O. Box 4317, Waco, Texas 76715. There'll be a screen at the end of our time together with this information too. I want to thank you for watching today, for connecting with us, and for supporting what we're doing here at Connect Church in Waco. Our band has a song for you before I bring today's message. Thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoy this week's online celebration.
You were the Word at the beginning, one with God, the Lord Most High. Hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you are Christ. What a beautiful name it is! What a beautiful name it is! The name of Jesus Christ, our King. What a beautiful name it is! Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is! The name of Jesus. Didn't want heaven without us. So Jesus, you brought heaven down. Sin was great, love was greater. What could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a the name of Jesus Christ. What a wonderful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. Death could not hold you, the veil torn before you, silence the voice of sin and grave. The heavens are open, praise and your glory, for you are raised to life again. Sing like the light. Now and forever.
in week 2 of our new series we're calling No Offense. In an offensive world, we're talking about and learning ways to live without being offended. Now, this week, we're going to talk about those people. You know who I'm talking about when I say those people. We've all encountered those people because they're everywhere. You know those people, they're very ones you're thinking about right now. Now, don't point at them because they're crazy and they're everywhere. If you don't know who I'm talking about when I say those people, I'll tell you, because those people can be challenging. Those people are often critical. They can be controlling. Those people are often incredibly arrogant at times, and those people can be really, really mean. Those people, they know everything about everything, and they're going to tell everybody every chance they get. You get all the relatives together, and there's going to be that one person in the house that's one of those people. If you say there's not one in your family, it's probably you. I'll never forget when a friend had just encountered one of those people and later said of them, they're such sandpaper. Those people are like sandpaper, the heavy grit kind of sandpaper. They rub you the wrong way like fingernails on the chalkboard. We work with those people. We go to school with those people. We maybe even live with those people. It's even possible that we are those people. As followers of Jesus, and we know that we're called to love everybody, we're even called to love those people. It seems like there's always at least one of those people in my life. There have been a few times when there were more than one of those people around, and there have been times I felt like the Lord put them in my life on purpose. Since they're such like sandpaper, those people help to smooth out my rough edges. Some of those people are even more difficult to love today than ever before because there's so many complications in the world and there's so much tension. So if you find yourself like I do, easily frustrated or often angry or even offended, then today you're in the right place. Today I want to talk to you about dealing with those people. Those people have always been around. They aren't new. Jesus knew about those people. He dealt with those people a lot, and he knew we would have to deal with those people. The Apostle Paul knew about those people too, so he wrote down some instructions on how to react and respond to them. We read what he wrote for us in a New Testament letter he wrote to the followers of Jesus in the city of Ephesus. We know it is the book of Ephesians, and we're looking at verses 26 and 27. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you're still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. One thing we know about dealing with those people is they can make you angry, sometimes really angry. But notice he did not say, don't get angry and sin. He said, in your anger, do not sin. It's not a sin to get angry, but we should not allow getting angry to cause us to sin. There are some things that should make us angry, but there's simply no win in being offended. I never found my life to become more joyful when I'm ticked off about what somebody said to me. My marriage has never gotten better when I'm angry at some injustice in this world. I've never gotten closer to God. I've never had more intimate conversations when I've walked around with ongoing unforgiveness towards someone who hurt me, wasted my time, or irritated me in my life. I need to remember that there's no win in living offended, but I'm likely to be offended, so what do? Well, I tell myself that being offended is inevitable, but living offended is a choice. Being offended is going to happen. I'll probably offend you. Someone else is going to offend you. Let me say that again. Being offended is inevitable, but living offended is a choice. It's going to happen, but you can still choose how you respond to an offense. Paul tells us something very important in verse 26 when he writes, do not let the sun go down while you're still angry. In other words, don't let the day come to an end while you're still harboring an offense against someone. Don't let the sun go down while you're still angry. This verse implies something powerful, that the day of your hurt should also be the day of your healing. The same day that someone offends you should be the very same day that as a follower of Jesus, you're working to bring reconciliation into that relationship. This is some great advice my dad gave Lisa and I when we were married 42 years ago. It's been a principle that's helped our marriage over the years. Dad told us, never go to sleep mad, ever. Fix it before you go to sleep, even if you have to stay up all night. An offense that's slept on becomes a seed for unforgiveness and bitterness. The Apostle Paul is telling us we need to be really, really careful, because if you hold on to anger, if you're always nurturing an offense, and if you're rehearsing the hurts over and over in your mind, what you're actually doing is you're giving the devil a foothold in your life, or in other words, giving him room to work. The Voice translation of verse 27 says, when we harbor offenses, we give the devil room to work. If you visit someone's home, they will often give you a tour of their house, and as they do, they point out, well, this is Johnny's room and this is Susie's room. Would we ever want to say, and this is the room we set aside for the devil to do the work he wants to do to our family? Do you really want to give the devil access to your relationships, your family, your friends, your church? I sure don't. If I were the devil and trying to scheme against God, I'd try to divide families, friends, and churches. I would try to bring division as much as I could into families, friends, and churches as I could. And honestly, that seems easier to do today than ever before. All you have to do is get them talking about politics or a few misunderstandings and toxic opinions, some vaccine stuff, and before long you could actually destroy friendships and have family members stop talking to each other. You could ruin marriages, friendships, and you could split churches. If I were a demon, I would try to divide Christians because when Christians are united, they're unstoppable. But when they're divided, they're weak and ineffective. The second thing I would do, I would distract Christians from their mission. I would try to distract them. I'd get them to argue about anything, just anything in culture. I'd get them to boycott some business. I'd get them angry about some sin and that other people don't hate it as much as they do. I'd get them complaining about other Christians or complaining about something on television or a new movie, then get them posting about their outrage on Facebook and Instagram. If I were the devil, I would try to distract Christians from their mission. I would try to divide them. I'd get them focused on what they're against, arguing about whatever they're mad about. My goal would be to keep them angry, critical, judgmental, hypocritical, self-centered, self-righteous, and easily offended. If I live in anger and harbor bitterness and I live easily offended, Scripture says you're giving your spiritual enemy access to your life. How different do you think our friendships would be, our families would be, and the church would be if on the day that I offended you, I owned it and apologized and said, would you please forgive me? Or the day you offended me, I had the grace, as I've been so often forgiven, to choose to forgive you. Or the day that we had a misunderstanding or an agreement or a hurt and that we both said, hey, let's just let that thing go. How different do you think the world would be that if on the same day of the hurt, as followers of Jesus, we work toward healing? Paul goes on in verse 29 to show us how to live with no offense. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that may benefit those who listen. We should ask ourselves, are my words going to be helpful or hurtful? Are my words going to build them up or tear them down? Would I want to hear someone say these words about me or to me? If not, then we shouldn't say them about someone else or to someone else. Paul goes on to show us the steps of how to live this way in verse 31. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling, and slander, along with every form of malice. Get rid of it, all of it, just like cleaning the house or clearing out the garage. When we live with and in offense, we're easily offended by unoffensive things. We can get so used to living in offense that we no longer see it for the destructive effects that it has on our life and the lives of everyone around us. Declutter your heart by getting rid of any and all bitterness, rage, and anger, brawling and slander, along with every form of malice. And in verse 32, Paul shows us why. Be kind and compassionate to each other, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. This goes back to what we talked about last week. We should forgive each other because we're desperately in need of forgiveness ourselves. We should forgive others because we have been forgiven ourselves. Neither my life nor your life have ever been made better when we've been angry. I've never been more loving when I've been easily offended. What I've noticed is that every single minute that I'm angry, I lose a minute of joy. Every single minute that I'm angry, I lose a minute of peace. Every single minute that I'm angry, I lose a minute where I could make a difference in the life of someone else. That's why I know being offended is inevitable. It's going to happen. But living offended is a choice. A divided world needs a united church. A dark world needs a church full of light. We're not going to let unwholesome talk come out of our mouth, but only that which is helpful for building others up. To do that, let's make the 139th Psalm, verses 23 and 24, our prayer. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way of everlasting. We're not here to make a point. We're here to make a difference. We make a difference with the love of Jesus.